Hello, welcome to English Cat. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to spend some time together just listening and relaxing. We aren't going to study from a textbook or look at complicated grammar charts. Instead, we're going to talk about something we do every single day: introducing ourselves. Think about the last time you met someone new. Maybe it was at a coffee shop, or perhaps you were standing in line at the grocery store. Maybe it was your first day at a new school or a new job. That moment when you look at someone and say, "Hi, my name is," is so small, but it is actually a very big deal. It's like opening a door to a new world. When we introduce ourselves, we aren't just sharing a name. We are sharing a little piece of who we are. I remember a time when I moved to a new city. I didn't know anyone. I felt a little bit nervous, which is totally normal. I went to a local park and sat on a bench. There was a woman there with a very friendly dog. The dog ran over to me, and that was the perfect moment. I looked at her and said, "Hi there, he's so cute. My name is Sarah. I just moved here." It was so simple. I didn't need a long speech. I just needed to be me. She smiled and told me her name was Elena. Just like that, the ice was broken. When we talk about ourselves for the first time, we often feel like we have to be perfect. We worry if our English sounds right or if we are using the best words. But honestly, people don't care about your grammar as much as they care about your energy. Are you smiling? Are you making eye contact? In English-speaking cultures, a friendly hello and a warm smile go much further than a perfect sentence. Imagine you are walking into a party. There are many people talking and laughing. You see someone standing by the snacks, looking a little bit shy. You walk over. You don't have to say anything complicated. You can just say, "Hi, I'm your name. I don't think we've met yet." This is a classic, natural way to start. It's not formal, it's just friendly. You might follow up with, "How do you know the host?" or "Are you from around here?" Introductions are really just a bridge. You are building a bridge from your life to someone else's life. Sometimes we feel like we need to say everything all at once. We want to tell them our name, our job, our favorite color, and what we ate for breakfast. But a good introduction is like a slow dance. You give a little bit of information, and then you listen. You share your name, and then you wait for theirs. I often think about how my name sounds to other people. My name is part of my identity. When I say, "I'm Sarah," I feel proud of that. Even if someone has a name that is hard for me to pronounce, I always try my best because a person's name is the most important word to them. If you have a name that people find difficult, don't be afraid to say it clearly and even repeat it. You can say, "My name is name." It's a bit hard to say, but you can call me nickname if that's easier. This shows you are confident and also helpful. In these first moments of meeting someone, we are setting the tone. If we are calm, the other person feels calm too. That's why I like to take a deep breath before I speak. I tell myself, I'm just a person talking to another person. We are all just trying to connect. Think about the word introduce. It comes from words that mean to lead inside. When you introduce yourself, you are leading someone into your life. You are inviting them to know you. It's a very kind thing to do. So as you listen today, I want you to feel that kindness toward yourself. You don't have to be a professional speaker. You just have to be a friend. Let's imagine another scenario. You are at a bus stop. It's raining and you both are under the small roof. You look at the person next to you and say, "Rough weather today, isn't it? I'm Sarah, by the way." This is a very natural way to introduce yourself in a casual setting. You start with something you both are experiencing, like the rain, and then you add your name at the end. It feels very smooth. It doesn't feel like a presentation. In the beginning, we keep it light. We talk about our names, maybe where we live, or why we are in that specific place. "I'm here for the weekend," or "I live just down the street." These small details help the other person understand your context. It helps them find something to say back to you. If you say, I just moved here from Italy, they can say, Oh, I love Italian food, or What brought you here? It gives the conversation a place to go. Introducing yourself is also about listening. When the other person says their name, try to remember it. Sometimes I repeat it back to them. It's nice to meet you, Elena. This helps me lock the name in my memory, and it also makes Elena feel seen and heard. It's a small trick that makes a big difference. As we move through our lives, we will introduce ourselves thousands of times. Each time is a chance to start a new story. Each time is a chance to practice being ourselves in a new way. You are doing a great job just by being here and listening. You are preparing your mind to be comfortable with these sounds and these rhythms. Take a moment now to just listen to the sound of my voice. Notice the rhythm. I'm not rushing. I'm taking my time. When you introduce yourself, you can take your time too. You don't have to speak fast to sound fluent. Actually, speaking a bit slower often makes you sound more confident. It shows that you aren't afraid to take up space. In the next part, we will talk more about how to share where we come from and what our daily lives look like. But for now, just remember that the most important part of any introduction is the person behind the words. You are enough, just as you are. Your name is a gift you give to others. So, let's keep going. Let's imagine we are sitting together, having a tea, and we're just getting to know each other. I'll tell you a bit more about my world, and you can think about how you would describe yours. There's no pressure. Just listen and let the English flow around you. You are doing amazing. Now that we've talked about those first hellos, let's go a little deeper. Usually, after we share our names, the next thing people want to know is a bit about our background. Where are you from? Where do you live? Do you have a big family? These are the stories of our lives. When someone asks, Where are you from? It's such a simple question, but the answer can be a whole journey. For me, I grew up in a small town with a lot of trees and very quiet nights. When I introduce that part of myself, I like to describe the feeling of the place. I might say, I'm from a quiet little town in the Midwest. It's the kind of place where everyone knows their neighbors. If you are from a big, busy city, you might say, I'm from the heart of the city. It's loud and exciting, and there's always something to do at 2 in the morning. Do you see how that gives the listener a picture? Instead of just saying a city name, you're giving them a feeling. Sometimes we live in a place that isn't where we were born. I've lived in 3 different states, so I often say, well, I'm originally from Ohio, but I've been living in California for 5 years now. This is a great way to show your history. It shows that you've moved, you've changed, and have different experiences. Then people often ask about family. Family is a very common topic when we are getting to know someone. You don't have to give a full family tree, you can just share the basics. I have a small family, or I come from a very big family. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. Being the oldest or the youngest or the middle child tells people a little bit about your personality without you having to explain it. I have a younger brother. We are very different. He's very into technology and computers, and I love books and nature. When I introduce myself to a new friend, I might mention him if we are talking about siblings. My brother is a smart one with computers, I might joke. It makes the conversation feel warm and real. Think about your daily life. What does a typical Tuesday look like for you? When we introduce ourselves, we can share these small slices of life. For example, I might say, I'm a morning person. I love to get up early, have a cup of coffee, and listen to the birds before the world gets busy. This tells the listener so much more than just saying, I like coffee. It tells them I value peace and quiet. What about you? Are you a night owl? Do you love the energy of the evening? Maybe you spend your days working in an office, or maybe you're a student, or perhaps you stay at home to take care of your family. All of these roles are part of your introduction. You can say, right now, most of my time is spent studying, Or I'm currently focused on raising my kids, which is a full-time job in itself. Sharing our daily routines helps people relate to us. We all have routines. We all have things we do every day. When you talk about your ordinary life, it actually makes you more interesting. It makes you human. I remember meeting a man at a community event once. He introduced himself and said, "I'm a retired teacher, but these days I spend most of my time in my garden trying to grow the perfect tomato." I love that. It was so specific. I could see him in his garden wearing a sun hat, caring for his plants. It gave me something to talk to him about. I asked him, "So, have you found the perfect tomato yet?" And we talked for 20 minutes. That is the secret to a great introduction. You want to give the other person a hook. A hook is a small detail that they can grab onto to ask a question. If you only say, "I am a student," there isn't much to grab. But if you say, "I am a student studying architecture because I've always been fascinated by old buildings," now you've given them a hook. They can ask about your favorite buildings or why you like old architecture. When you talk about your background, you can also mention things you love. "I've lived in this city for 10 years, and my favorite part is the park near the river." This shows you're connected to your environment. It shows you have opinions and tastes. Don't worry about being boring. Nobody is boring. Every person has a unique way of looking at the world. Your background is yours alone. No one else has your exact story. When you share it, you are sharing a one-of-a-kind treasure. Sometimes learners feel they need to use very formal words to describe their life. But in English, especially in the US, we use very natural, simple language to talk about our homes and families. Instead of saying, "I reside in a domicile," we just say, "I live in a small apartment." Instead of, "My siblings and I share a bond," we say, "My sister and I are very close." The goal of this part of the introduction is to make the other person feel like they are starting to see your world. You are opening the curtains and letting some light in. You are saying, "This is where I come from. This is who I live with. And this is what my day looks like." As you listen to me talk, think about how you would describe your home. Is it near the ocean? Is it in the mountains? Is it a busy place with lots of people, or a quiet place where you can hear the wind? Think about your family. Who is the person who makes you laugh the most? Who do you call when you have good news? These are the details that make an introduction come alive. You are doing so well. Just listening to these stories is helping your brain get used to how we talk about our lives. It's not a list of facts, it's a flow of experiences. In the next part, we will look at how to take these personal stories into more formal places, like a new job or a professional meeting. But for now, just stay here with me in this comfortable space and let the words settle into your mind. You're learning, even when you think you are just listening. Now we are moving into a slightly different space. Sometimes we have to introduce ourselves in situations that feel a bit more official. Maybe it's your first day at a new job, or you are joining an online meeting with people from different countries. These moments can feel a bit more stressful, but they don't have to be. Imagine it's Monday morning. You are walking into a new office. You have your bag, you have your coffee, and your heart is beating a little fast. You see your new team. This is a professional introduction, but professional doesn't mean cold or robotic. It just means you focus a bit more on what you do and why you are there. A great way to start in a professional setting is to acknowledge the situation. "Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be joining the team. My name is Name, and I'll be working as the new marketing assistant." It's clear, it's positive, and it tells everyone your role. In a meeting, especially an online one, introductions are often short. You might have 10 people on a screen. When it's your turn, you might say, "Hi everyone, I'm Name. I'm calling in from Chicago. I've been with the company for about 2 years, and I'm looking forward to working on this project with you all." Notice how I mentioned where I'm calling from? In online meetings, this is a very common and friendly way to start. It helps people place you in the world. It makes the digital space feel a bit more physical. When you are at work, you might also have to explain what you did before. Before I joined this company, I worked in customer service for 5 years. This gives your coworkers a sense of your experience. You aren't bragging, you're just providing context. You're telling them, this is the knowledge I bring with me. But let's think about a different kind of social situation. One that is a mix of professional and casual. Maybe a networking event or a conference. You are wearing a name tag. You are holding a drink. You walk up to a group of people. This can be the most nervous-making situation of all. The best approach here is to be curious. Hi, I'm Name. What brings you to this conference? By asking a question, you take the pressure off yourself. You let the other person talk first. Then, when they ask about you, you can say, I'm here to learn more about new technology. I've always been interested in how things work. In English, we have this concept called the elevator pitch. The idea is that you should be able to introduce yourself and what you do in the time it takes to ride an elevator, about 30 to 60 seconds. It sounds scary, but it's actually very helpful. It's just a short summary of who you are professionally. For me, my elevator pitch might be, I'm a writer and an educator. I love finding ways to make learning English feel like a conversation rather than a chore. I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I'm always looking for new ways to tell stories. It's simple, right? I said what I do, why I love it, and how long I've been doing it. Now let's talk about introducing yourself in a foreign country. This is a very special situation. When you are a traveler or an expat, your introduction often starts with your curiosity about the new place. Hi, I'm Name. I'm visiting from country. It's my first time here and I'm really enjoying the food. This is a great introduction because it shows you are open and appreciative. People love to hear that you like their country. It starts the relationship on a very positive note. If you are living in a new country, you might say, I've lived here for 6 months now. I'm still learning the language, but I really love the culture here. This is very honest and humble. It tells people that you are trying, and most people will be very happy to help you or speak more slowly if they know you are learning. In professional and social settings, there is one thing that is always important: the follow-up. After you introduce yourself, the conversation continues. You listen to their introduction and then you ask a question. That sounds like a fascinating job. What is the most challenging part of it? Or, how long have you lived in this city? A good introduction is like a game of catch. You throw the ball, your introduction, and then they catch it and throw it back, their introduction. If you just stand there and don't throw the ball back, the game stops. So always have a small question ready to keep the game going. I remember my first big professional meeting. I was so worried about saying the right thing. I had practiced my introduction in the mirror for 20 minutes. But when I got there, I realized that everyone else was also a little bit nervous. We are all human. When I finally spoke, I just said, Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm new here and I'm still trying to find where the best coffee is in the building. Everyone laughed and the tension disappeared. Humor is a great tool, even in professional settings. It shows you are confident enough to be a little bit funny. It shows you don't take yourself too seriously. Of course, you have to use it at the right time, but a little bit of lightheartedness goes a long way. As you listen to this, I want you to feel more comfortable with the idea of professional you. This version of you is capable, experienced, and ready to contribute. Whether you are talking to a boss, a coworker, or a stranger at a conference, remember that you have value. Your background and your skills are important. When you introduce yourself at work, you are saying, I am here to help. I am part of this team. When you introduce yourself at a social event, you are saying, I am here to connect. I am part of this community. You are doing a wonderful job today. You are listening to different ways of presenting yourself to the world. You are learning the music of the language. In the next part, we will talk about the inner you, your personality, your hobbies, and your dreams. This is where the introduction gets really fun. But for now, just breathe and be proud of yourself for taking this time. You are becoming more confident with every minute that passes. We've talked about the basics, your background, and your professional life. Now, let's talk about the heart of the introduction. This is the part where you talk about who you are as a person. This is about your personality, your passions, your hobbies, and your dreams for the future. When we meet someone and the conversation goes past the first few minutes, we start to share what we do for fun. Hobbies are a fantastic way to connect. What do you do in your free time is one of my favorite questions to answer. I might say, in my free time, I love to go hiking. There is something about being out in the woods that makes me feel so refreshed. I also really enjoy cooking, although I'm not very good at following recipes. I like to experiment. Do you see how I added a little detail there? I like to experiment. That tells you something about my personality. It tells you I'm a bit adventurous and maybe a bit messy in the kitchen. When you talk about your hobbies, try to explain why you like them. Instead of just, I like movies, you could say, I love old movies because I like seeing how people lived in the past. Or instead of, I play guitar, you could say, I play guitar because it helps me relax after a long day. This why is what makes your introduction personal. It's the difference between a list and a story. Now let's think about personality. How would you describe yourself? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Are you organized or a bit chaotic? Are you a dreamer or a practical person? Sometimes it feels strange to talk about our own personalities. We don't want to sound like we are bragging, but you can be honest and humble at the same time. You could say, I'm a bit of a quiet person at first, but once I get to know people, I love to talk. Or you could say, I'm the kind of person who always has a plan. I love making lists. I often describe myself as a curious soul. I love learning new things, which is why I enjoy talking to people from different cultures. If I say that in an introduction, it explains why I am asking so many questions. It makes my curiosity feel like a positive part of who I am. What are your dreams? This might feel too deep for a first meeting, but in the right situation, sharing your goals can be very inspiring. If you are talking to a new friend, you might say, one day I hope to travel all around South America. Or, I'm working hard right now because my dream is to start my own business. Sharing your goals shows that you have direction. It shows that you are moving forward. It gives people a reason to root for you. They might even say, oh, I've been to South America. You have to visit Peru. And suddenly, you have a deep connection. Confidence is a big part of this. Sometimes we feel like our English isn't good enough to express our deep thoughts. But remember, simple words can express very deep things. You don't need big words to talk about your heart. I love my family. I want to be happy. I enjoy nature. These are simple sentences, but they are very powerful. I want to tell you a story about a friend of mine named Ken. Ken moved to the US from Japan. In the beginning, he was very shy. When people asked him about himself, he would just say his name and his job. But one day, we were talking about hobbies, and he told me he loved forest bathing, the Japanese practice of spending time in the woods for health. He didn't know the perfect English words for everything, but he described how the light looked through the leaves and how quiet it was. It was the most beautiful introduction to his personality I had ever heard. He wasn't just Ken the engineer, he was Ken who loves the quiet of the forest. From that day on, I felt like I really knew him. You have those things too. You have things you love and ways you see the world that are unique to you. Don't be afraid to share them. You can say, I'm very passionate about animal rights, or I've always been a huge fan of football. I never miss a game. Another part of our personality is how we handle challenges. Sometimes, in a more personal introduction, you might mention something you've overcome. I used to be very afraid of public speaking, but I've been practicing a lot lately and I'm getting better. This shows strength. It shows growth. As you listen to this, think about three words that describe you. Are you kind? Are you energetic? Are you thoughtful? Are you creative? Think about how you would say those things. I'm a very creative person. I'm always making something, whether it's a drawing or a new meal. The goal of this part of your self-introduction is to let the other person see the colors of your life. Before, they saw the outline of your house, your name and background. Now, they are seeing the paintings on the walls and the books on the shelves. They are seeing the things that make you, you. Remember, it's okay to be a work in progress. You can say, I'm trying to be more patient, or I'm learning how to cook. It's very relatable. No one is perfect, and people feel more comfortable around you when you show that you are human. In the final part of our journey today, we are going to pull all of this together. We are going to talk about how to feel calm and reflective, and how to carry this confidence with you wherever you go. You are doing so well. Just by staying with me and listening to these stories, you are training your ear and your heart to be at home in this language. You are not just learning English, you are learning how to be yourself in English. Take a deep breath. Feel the weight of your body in your chair. You are here. You are learning. You are growing. Let's move into the final part of our story together. We have traveled a long way together. We started with a simple hello, moved through our backgrounds and families, looked at our professional lives, and explored our hobbies and personalities. Now, I want us to take a moment to be very still and reflective. Introducing yourself is more than just a social skill. It is an act of courage. Every time you speak up and share who you are saying, I matter. My story matters. I have a place in this world. I want you to imagine a future version of yourself. You are in a place you've always wanted to visit. Maybe it's a bustling street in New York, a quiet cafe in London, or a sunny beach in Sydney. You are standing there feeling very calm. Someone walks up to you and starts a conversation. In this moment, you aren't worried about your grammar. You aren't worried about your accent. You are just present. You look at them, you smile, and you speak. Your voice is steady. Your heart is open. You tell them your name, you tell them where you are from, and you tell them why you are there. You share a little bit about what you love. The other person listens. They smile. They are interested in you. Not because your English is perfect, but because you are being real. You are being authentic. This is the goal. The goal isn't to sound like a native speaker. The goal is to sound like you. When I think about the people I've met in my life, I don't remember who used the most complex vocabulary. I remember the people who were kind. I remember the people who listened well. I remember the people who were proud of their heritage and their journey. If you feel nervous the next time you have to introduce yourself, I want you to remember this. The person you are talking to is probably a little bit nervous too. We all want to be liked. We all want to make a good impression. When you are brave enough to start the conversation, you are actually helping the other person feel more comfortable. You are doing them a favor. Self-introduction is a practice of self-love. It's about recognizing all the parts of yourself: the student, the worker, the parent, the friend, the dreamer, and bringing them all together into one voice. Think about the journey you have taken to get where you are today. You have worked hard. You have learned a new language. You have navigated challenges that other people might not understand. All of that strength is inside you. When you say, "Hi, I'm name," you are bringing all of that strength into the room with you. I want to share a little secret with you. Even after all these years of teaching and speaking, I still get a little bit nervous when I meet a large group of new people. My hands get a little cold and I sometimes forget what I was going to say. But I've learned to embrace that feeling. I tell myself that's just my energy getting ready to connect. I take a breath and I focus on the other person. If you focus on the other person, on making them feel welcome, your own nerves will start to fade. Try to think of an introduction as a gift you are giving to someone else. You are giving them the gift of knowing you. As we come to the end of our time together, I want you to feel a sense of peace. English is just a tool. It's a tool for connection, for friendship, and for discovery. You are already using this tool beautifully just by being here. You can introduce yourself anywhere, in a crowded room or a quiet street, in a high-stakes interview or a casual chat. You have the words, and more importantly, you have the heart. Let's do a little mental practice. Close your eyes if you can. Imagine you are introducing yourself to me. What would you say? Tell me your name. Tell me where you are from. Tell me one thing you love about your life. Tell me a dream you have. Can you feel it? The words are there. They are yours. I am so proud of the work you are doing. Listening for this long takes focus and dedication. It shows how much you care about your growth. You are becoming a more confident version of yourself with every word you hear. In the days to come, I want you to look for small opportunities to practice. You don't have to give a 7,500 word speech. Just a hello, I'm to the person at the library, or a hi, my name is to a new neighbor. Each small step is a victory. Remember that the English Cat community is here with you. You are part of a global family of learners who are all on this same journey. You are never alone. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for letting me share these stories with you. I hope you feel relaxed. I hope you feel encouraged. Most of all, I hope you feel ready to step out into the world and say, "Hi, this is me." You are amazing, you are capable, and you are ready. Take this feeling of confidence with you as you go about your day. Let it stay in your mind like a warm light. Whenever you need it, you can come back to this space, listen again, and remind yourself of how far you've come. I'll be here, waiting to talk with you again soon. Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and keep being yourself. Because yourself is the best person you can be.